Welcome to AP Statistics at Dublin High School. That person on the cover there is not one of the teachers. That's actually Hans Rosling, who is a Swedish physician. He actually passed away in 2017, but I put his picture on there because he's an example of someone in the real world. He was, a physician who cared a lot about public health. And so he used data science and specifically descriptive statistics to really have an impact on the world. He really changed the way that people viewed um, public health. And so he's a very inspiring person to me and really to the entire world of statistics. And so I like to let your students know that the study of statistics is something where they actually can change the world. They actually can have an impact on the world through learning and using statistics. And it really doesn't matter like what field they go into, whether they end up, studying medical science or social science or computer science, or if they major in mathematics, whatever they pursue, statistics can be something that they can learn and use in any field of study, and they can use to change the world. So the teachers are Miss Anna Kim. She is the lead AP statistics teacher. She has been at Dublin High School her entire teaching career. She teaches other math courses as well, but she's been teaching AP statistics for over 15 years, very, very successfully. She also led our entire math department for several years and did a wonderful job as our department head. She's actually one of the reasons why I switched schools and came to Dublin High School because of her excellent leadership. My name is Thomas Lee. I have been teaching high school for 14 years, 10 years at a small private school before I came to Dublin High School, where I taught AP statistics and introductory. I started an introductory statistics course there. I absolutely love AP statistics. I've been a reader for the AP statistics exam, which means I graded. I flew to Kansas City and graded AP statistics exams for 8 hours a day in Kansas City, and that was pretty cool. That was really, really informative. But I love teaching AP statistics. I love love the subject. I love the content, and really enjoy interacting with statistics students. One of the reasons I love it so much is because statistics is unlike any other course that your students have studied in high school. It is obviously it's applied math, but every problem is applied to a real life, real world situation. And so I just like that it's so immediately relevant to the real world. And you always get that question like, how is this going to relate to the real world, or how does this apply to my life? Well, really, all of statistics applies to real life. Your teachers are available through office hours. Office hours are scheduled Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2:35 to 3:30, and Wednesday from 10:45 to 12. In addition, this year we have what's called directed intervention. That really applies more to students who are struggling to meet the academic standards, but those are also available. So very quickly, just an overview of statistics. Statistics is obviously the science of data, and data are numbers with a real world context. And again, that's why I enjoy statistics so much, is because of the real world applications. Okay. So AP statistics is broken into 4 major themes, and this is the way the curriculum has been designed by the College Board. Collecting data, so surveys, how do we design observational studies, surveys, and valid experiments? Describing data or descriptive statistics, so graphical techniques and numerical analysis. Probability, so the laws of probability that sort of undergird the decision-making process in statistics. And then finally, statistical inference is kind of the culminating topic that all 3 of those other topics are kind of leading us towards. So making inferential conclusions, valid conclusions based on the data that we're presented with. One other thing is that the curriculum, as I kind of mentioned, is set forth by College Board. This is an AP class or an advanced placement class, so this is technically a introductory college level course. So yes, this is a college level course. The AP exam occurs every May, and one of the things that I'll be doing is preparing your students to be amazingly successful on the AP exam. The AP exam itself is a 3-hour long exam broken up into 2 sections. The first section is a multiple choice section for 90 minutes. Then the second section is a free response or a problem solving, sort of an open-ended problem solving section for an hour and a half. So every student in our roster can be successful not only in the AP statistics course, but also on this exam. But it does require consistent effort all year long. Every year, we get some students who, senioritis kind of kicks in late second semester, and sometimes we see that effort level wane just a little bit when we're at the very end of the course or preparing for the AP exam. So we need consistent effort all year long. Okay, so the supplies that your students need, they already have these supplies, but the biggest thing for this course is the TI-84. Now, that is not the only calculator that will work, but it is the one that I highly recommend. But if your students have a TI-83, that's fine. If they have a TI-89, that works. It's just not, the course really isn't set up for the TI-89, but you can use a TI-89. There are other graphing calculators that will work, but I strongly suggest the TI-84 or some version of it. One of the things that I put on here that, your students, obviously, if they're in this course, are high achievers, and most high achievers are not used to asking for a lot of help because generally they don't have to. But in this course, because statistics is such a different topic, it's the content is so different than any other course that they've had. One of the things that I'll try to instill in your students and help them to develop is a willingness to ask for help, not only from me, not only from the teacher, but also from their peers, from their colleagues. The textbook we're using is this textbook here. All your students have them. Unlike any other math course, I told your students the first day of class, I said, don't think of this as a math class. Why? Because in this course, there is a lot of reading and there is a lot of writing. So your students have to do both reading and writing. With high achievers in math, a lot of times they just listen to the teacher's lecture and they're able to just do the problems. Okay, that is not how this course is designed. Okay, so they have to read it, they have to study it, and they have to actually use the textbook. Okay, my expectation. So my goal is for everyone to understand statistics and also see how it's relevant to their lives, okay, both currently and in the future. My hope is for everyone to be successful in the course and to get a 5 on the AP exam. My expectation is that every single student will put forth the effort to be successful in this college level course. There's lots of support available. How can you support your students? Okay. The most important thing, especially in an online learning environment, is they need internet access. They need to have reliable internet access. Okay. They need a quiet, distraction-free environment. And you need to help them to view themselves as independent learners. Okay. You don't want to have them develop a mindset of, I can, every time I get stuck, I'll rely on the teacher to, kind of walk me through this. No, we really want to build up their agency, their sense of agency, that they take ownership of their learning and they become sort of self-motivated, independent learners who are very resourceful at finding solutions. Accountability. You can provide accountability, okay, by making sure that your students know like what's coming up in the course. You do not have to organize their course for them. You don't have to organize their calendars for them. but it's perfectly fine for you. And I think it's perfectly appropriate for you to once in a while just ask them, hey, what's going on in AP Stats? Do you have any quizzes coming up? Do you have any tests coming up? What's your big, what's coming up? And they should be able to answer that because that information is readily available to them in class and on Canvas. The biggest thing is to help them also develop a mindset of self-advocacy. When they need help, they need to advocate for themselves. They need to be able to, become comfortable communicating with the teacher and understand that the teacher is there not as this authoritarian figure, but the teacher is there to help them to reach their academic goals. So their teacher is really much more like a coach, like in a sport. They're the ones actually doing the sport and performing, but their coach is the one who is there to help them to reach whatever goals they have for themselves. Homework. We have a lot of homework in this college level course, this AP course. Your students are going to have homework every single day. Now, we don't meet every day, but your students will have homework every day. And they can expect to have 45 minutes to 1 hour of uninterrupted, focused effort, okay, for homework every single day. That's 5 days a week, okay? Now, we don't meet 5 days a week. With our schedule, with our block schedule and online learning, we actually only have 2 class sessions per week, 2 75-minute class sessions per week. So that means that we are covering 5 lessons over 2 class sessions. Okay, so think of it as, and your students have to have the mindset of, no matter how many times I meet, in class, I think of it as there's an assignment, there's a homework assignment every day. So there's 5 homework assignments roughly per week, okay? Assessments. So we are going to have quizzes every section. Okay, every chapter of the book is broken up into subsections, so we'll have a quiz to make sure everyone is on track. And then there's unit exams at the end of each chapter. In addition, there will be some projects, and there's a final exam or a midterm exam. So first semester, at the end of the first semester, there is a cumulative exam, a midterm exam. And then at the end of the course, there is a final exam. In addition, because of the online learning environment that we're in, we also have homework quizzes. Homework quizzes are basically the most authentic way for the teachers to assess how your students are doing in the middle of a chapter. Okay, so homework quizzes are basically, we break up the students in our classroom into smaller groups of 5 or 6, and then those 5 or 6 students have to discuss the previous night's homework, and they have to discuss how to solve those problems. And then the teacher goes into meets with each small group and then asks a student to explain the thought process and the solving process for one particular problem from the previous night's homework. Grades. So the grades are broken down into 75% of your student's grade is the assessments, which are the quizzes, the homework quizzes, final exam, midterm exam, tests, unit exams, that kind of thing. 15% is based on classwork and participation. So it's critically important in an online environment, especially that your students show up and are present, 100% focused and present during that 75-minute class time. That 75-minute class time goes by very, very quickly, and every single thing that's covered is very important. And then finally, 10% of their grade is based on homework. And this is set forth, this 10% homework, this is set forth by the DUSD, by the District School Board and the Dublin High School Administration. Code of conduct. I'm not going to read this entire code of conduct to you, but especially in AP courses, a lot of times there's a lot of pressure on students to breach academic integrity. Breaches of academic integrity are taken very, very seriously. And breaching academic integrity has consequences. One of those consequences could be, depending on the severity of the breach, it could be a stain on your student's academic record, your student's permanent academic record. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to put, a mark of academic dishonesty on somebody's transcript. But if a breach occurs, that is one of the consequences that may occur. Digital etiquette, I'm not going to read through all of these bullet points, but basically your students just have to be very polite, and they have to show up on time and remain in the classroom, in the Zoom session the entire time. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much for attending Back to School Night. Both Ms. Kim and I really hope to meet you in person sometime soon. And we really view this as a partnership. The parents and the teachers are partnering together to help your students become successful and meet all of their academic goals. Thank you so much, and hope to see you soon.